Hello everyone and welcome to the Blockchain Startup Show. I'm Avan Dabash. Today we have a cutting-edge platform from the world of blockchain and smart contracts that ensures faster and cheaper transactions while keeping your data safe and secure. Meet Shardeum, the EVM-based smart contract platform that provides low gas fee forever while maintaining true decentralization and solid security through dynamic state sharding. Established in 2022, Shardeum is not only revolutionizing the blockchain space, but also paving the way for a more accessible and sustainable decentralized future. We got the opportunity to sit down with Nischal Shetty, the co-founder of Shardeum, where he shares his insights on the world of blockchain, the unique features of Shardeum, as well as what his vision is for the future of blockchain technology. Nischal, hi there and welcome to the show. Now, I want to start off by talking about how your journey has been in the Web3 ecosystem so far, and how has that really led to the origin of Shardeum?
First of all, thanks a lot for having me on the show, Avan. Happy to discuss about my journey and where we are today with Shardeum. I started in crypto in the year, I would say late 2017, but 2018 is when I launched my first crypto startup, which was WazirX. It's a crypto exchange, one of the largest exchanges in the country today with over 15 million users. The internet as we know it today is sort of run by centralized companies around the world, and the blockchain technology sort of changes this from startups being founder owned to startups being community owned. Where even the users of those products become the beneficiaries of the success of that product, and that was the most fascinating part for me about this technology that got me into it. While decentralization as a technology was very interesting, the infrastructure that was needed to further this technology was really primitive and lacking in a variety of expectations. For example, if you look at the blockchains of today, they're not really scalable. So what that means is when a lot of people use that blockchain, the transaction fees go high and it becomes unaffordable. So that was what motivated me to, where I am today, which is building a blockchain called Shardeum, which is a scalable blockchain. The idea behind that is you'll even if a lot of people use the blockchain, the fees will never go higher. It will always be low.
Well, that's pretty interesting, and I'm curious, why the name Shardeum? Is there a particular meaning?
It's a good question. The technology behind Shardeum is called Sharding, and it's not a new technology. It's been in use in traditional databases as well. What Sharding means is you break something into smaller independent pieces, such that all of those pieces together, can perform activities and still be seen as one whole part. It's like you break a mirror into, let's say, 7-8 pieces, and each of those pieces you can still look at yourself. So that's like a sharded mirrors, and that's the same technology we are using in Shardeum, where the blockchain would look like one single blockchain to you, but it's actually within a network of smaller blockchains that are clubbed together, and that's how the blockchain actually can scale up and ensure that the fees remain low. So that was where the inspiration came, the shard part. And EUM is something that, if you look at these, institutions like museums and colosseums and all, they're all, the EUM part comes from there. So this is like an institution of, the people who believe in Shardeum to get together and build this technology.
Okay. So talk to us then, Nischal, about the core principles of Shardeum, the OCC, that's open, collaborative, and community-driven approach.
OCC stands for open, collaborative, and community-driven. And this is something that we deeply believe. If you were to build a truly decentralized blockchain, what is decentralization? Decentralization is ultimately, no one entity or no one person has complete control of that particular product or company, and that is what Shardeum's philosophy is, which is we need to be ultimately governed and driven by the community and not by a few people like the founders who started it or a particular company that is running it. And to make that happen, we knew that from day one we need to put in some basic principles that we always stick to, and that's where this OCC framework came into the picture. Um, I'll quickly tell you about let's say the O of OCC, open. What that means is, for example, in Shardeum, our root folder of Google Drive is open to everyone, which means anything and everything that we build is actually accessible to everyone in the community. And that's what the openness means. It's like the internet. There's no one who knows more about the internet than the users of the internet. That's the same philosophy we want to adopt at Shardeum. The second part is collaborative, which is, if you think of a blockchain in itself is pointless. It's just a database. You can't do anything. But it becomes powerful when a lot of people build products on top of it. And for that to happen, the blockchain needs to be collaborating with a lot of other products. And that's where the collaborative part comes. Third is the community-driven aspect, which is where, for example, even when we launched Shardeum, our website logo was in fact crowdsourced. It was created by our community members. Even the design was something that was recommended by the community members. There's a lot of our social profiles that are being now driven and run by our community around the world. So that's the community-driven aspect of OCC.
So can we call you Shardeum the first scalable blockchain ever? Would that be appropriate?
Yeah, I mean, there have been attempts at building scalable blockchains, but this is going to be the first time where there is no upper limit. What I mean by that is, the previous attempts have been where, let's say, if an existing blockchain like Ethereum has about 15 transactions per second, then someone else builds a blockchain saying now we can have 100 transactions or maybe 1,000 transactions. But the question is, what happens when this newer chain hits that 1,000 transaction or 10,000 transactions? Then the same problem comes again, which is your fees will go high. In the case of Shardeum, we do not have an upper limit. So, if let's say we launch Shardeum with 100 transactions per second, and a lot of people use it, and the requirement now becomes 1,000 transactions, the Shardeum blockchain can automatically grow to 1,000 transactions. And if we hit that limit, it can again grow to 10,000 transactions. It's very similar to how traditional websites work. It doesn't matter how many people access a website. You never see a website saying only 1,000 people can use this. After that, please wait in line or something. So that's the same philosophy we've applied at Shardeum. So it is the first linearly scalable blockchain in the world.
Okay, got that. So moving on, do you think that you can say that Shardeum is a direct competitor to Ethereum, or is there room for other players?
Yeah, I mean, Ethereum is a layer 1 blockchain smart contract platform, and Shardeum is also a layer 1 smart contract platform. So we are a direct competitor to Ethereum. And similarly, we are competitors to other smart contract platforms out there. Having said that, I think the concept of competition is very different in Web3. Web3 is not, at least if you look at it deep, it's not a winner takes it all, especially the blockchain ecosystem. It's about, and there's a popular, I would say, jargon these days, which is called as multi-chain. What that means is that, as the ecosystem grows, there'll be multiple blockchains that will power the ecosystem. And the reason for that is because no one single chain can actually satisfy all of the requirements that app developers have. So we look at this as a multi-chain ecosystem, but yes, we intend to be the largest, and that's our aim.
And how has the response been from the Web3 community with respect to user traction?
I think so. At Shardeum, we've seen tremendous, success in being able to build our community very early, and there are multiple reasons for that. It starts with the OCC framework that we spoke about, which is very important to involve the community. But there are many more reasons why we've been able to get over for example, we've got over 800,000 users now on our test network. And our Discord channel has over 500,000 subscribers, making us one of the largest layer 1 Discord community in the world. The reason for this is because we've been deeply involved in one is educating everyone about Web3. For example, in India, we have this mini meetup program called as Proof of Community, where every week we run multiple small meetups which are focused on education. So it's not like we are trying to just simply go and tell people try Shardium or use Shardium. The idea is, how do we educate people about Web3? What is Web3? How do you build your first smart contract on Web3? How do you make your first wallet transaction on Web3? And these are some of the basic things that most of the people have never done, because until now, I think like crypto for a lot of people has been only about going on an exchange and buying and selling tokens. But if you truly want to get into decentralization, it starts with self-custody, which is a popular term these days. You need to have your own wallet. You need to know how to transfer funds to that, and you need to know how to use decentralized products. And this is what we've been focused on, educating everyone, which has actually led to us being able to create a strong community of people who understand Web3. And that's how we've been growing. And we intend to continue to grow this way.
Point taken. On that note, let's take a very short break. When we return, I'll dive deeper into the world of Shardeum with Nischal Shetty. Hi there and welcome back to the Blockchain Startup Show. Our guest today is Nischal Shetty. He's a co-founder of Shardeum. So what differentiates Shardeum from other layer 2 chains?
So that's a good question. And the thing is, what's a layer 1? What is a layer 2? When you look at blockchain, there are there's something which is popularly called as the trilemma, which is a blockchain. It can be scalable, it can be decentralized, and it can be secure. These are the three things that are expected out of a blockchain. But the trilemma, which is a problem, which is you can only solve for two. So you can either build a blockchain which is secure and decentralized, or you can build a blockchain which is secure and scalable but not decentralized. So you're sort of compromising on one of these three activities. In the case of Shardeum, we've solved the trilemma where this is the first time that Shardeum, which is a layer 1, is scalable, secure, and decentralized. The simplest understanding of a layer 1 and a layer 2 is a layer 1 is focused on decentralization, which means anyone can run a validator node on the layer 1. And a layer 2 usually tries to compromise on that aspect so that they can provide you with more scalability. So this is the basic difference.
Right. Nischal, can you delve a little deeper into the developer traction and what are some of the interesting dApps that you're seeing being built on Shardeum that actually excite you?
Sure. So at Shardeum, we've seen thousands of developers now who are trying to build products or trying to learn. There have been, I would say, two parallel tracks for us at Shardeum when it comes to devs. One is attracting the existing developers who've been building decentralized apps on other blockchains. And for them, it is easy because we are using the EVM, the Ethereum virtual machine, which Ethereum and a lot of other blockchains are using. So they do not have to rebuild everything. If they've built something for, let's say, Ethereum, that same product, that same application can run on Shardeum. So it's very easy for third-party developers in Web3 who are already building products to deploy on Shardeum. The second part, which is much more interesting and exciting, is that if you look at India, for example, India is one of the largest developer ecosystems in the world. And it's only in the last 1 to 2 years that a lot of Indian devs have started now migrating towards building products for the Web3 ecosystem, for decentralization. And we take this as an opportunity to help them on board to Web3 development. So we have a lot of hackathons that we run. We do a lot of sessions where we teach the initial or the basics of how do you transition to Web3. And that has helped us attract a lot of new devs who are trying to build different products. Now, in terms of what are the products that are being built on Shardeum, it's again, I think, two things. One is because there already exists other blockchains, it's very easy to know that what are the things to be built. For example, DeFi, you must have heard of DeFi. There are a lot of products under DeFi. Then there's the whole world of NFTs. We've seen a lot of NFT projects launching on Shardeum. Then there are games. We've got some new and exciting games being developed.
So you mentioned that you're currently in test net phase. When do you plan to actually launch the mainnet?
Yeah, Shardeum is currently on the testnet, and we've gotten some great traction. Because this is a new blockchain, it's not a derivative of an existing blockchain. We are building it from the ground up. It's brand new. There is still some more time left for it to complete the development. Our roadmap is scheduled for completion by the end of this year. So by November or December 2023, we would have completed all of the features and all of the expectations from the first version, which should be ready to go live. So we need to make sure that a few things are completely tested out in terms of security, in terms of scalability, and that will happen after we finish our development. So we intend to go live by the end of this year, but it's again a function of how the testing phase goes, which will be probably starting towards the end of November or December.
And what does the future roadmap look like for Shardeum?
I think there are two, I would say, parallel things that we are looking at in terms of roadmap. One is what's a feature roadmap, which is what are the things you will have to build as you progress. And since scalability is our main objective, when we launch, while the blockchain is capable of expanding to tens of thousands of transactions, we want to make sure that we continue to work towards scalability such that it can expand to millions of transactions. Because when that happens, I think we will truly be able to see mass adoption happening for Web3. The general thought around Web3 is that Web3 will grow from about 200 million people today to over 1 billion people. And if that has to happen, we need to be able to provide a blockchain that can process millions of transactions. So that's our main focus area, which is build a chain and make it even more scalable so that it can scale to millions of transactions. And along with that, also try to work towards the community development. How do you educate people so that we can reach that goal of 1 billion people coming on onto the Web3 ecosystem?
I want to ask you, Nischal, what does massive success mean for Shardeum?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this whole crypto and Web3 ecosystem is still very new. We've just moved from the phase of experimentation. If you look at all of the blockchains that were built before, they were built for a world where it was not sure whether people will accept decentralization, whether people would even use a blockchain. Now we are in a situation where we realize that the blockchain technology is here to stay. And in fact, it's growing rapidly in terms of adoption, not just in India, but around the world, with hundreds of millions of people today, as being part of this ecosystem. So there is, I think it's still very early days, and there's a lot of opportunity to grow this ecosystem. And because Shardeum is going to be a key infrastructure in this whole growth by providing a scalable blockchain, I don't see an upper limit for Shardeum, either in the case of transaction capacity or in the case of the growth capacity. I think it's very early days. It's like a land grab, if you think about it. It's just you're just new to this ecosystem and you realize you're early. So you need to keep building the best products, and adoption will skyrocket. And that's what we are looking at with Shardeum.
And Nischal, what role do you see India playing when it comes to Web3?
I'm super bullish on India, and I've always been bullish about the Indian ecosystem for crypto, especially because if you look at the demographic of participants in crypto, it's the majority are in the 20 to 25 year or 30-year age group, and India is one of those nations which has the largest number of people in that age group. and it's an amazing opportunity for us because we are also, I think, as a nation, technically savvy. You could say it's like everyone knows how to use the internet. Everyone likes to talk tech, um, and we have the largest developer ecosystem. So I think in the next 3 to 5 years, India will be one of the largest crypto or Web3 markets in the world. And it won't be a surprise. It's the same in Web2. We are one of the largest Web2 markets. No one in the world can ignore India as a market. That's the same which is happening in Web3 as well. No one can ignore India. In fact, now all the Web3 companies are coming up with India strategies. So I think India is going to play a very powerful role in this whole. My dream is to see large innovative companies in Web3 emerging from India. And I think we're on that path. We are seeing a lot of new talent, which is launching amazing products. And hopefully in the next 3 to 5 years, some of the top Web3 companies, I think, will be from India.
Thank you so much for joining in today on the Blockchain Startup Show, Nischal. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we wrap it up on this show. Stay tuned for lots more exciting insights and innovations in the world of blockchain technology. Goodbye.